Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Racing 3. Today we'll be completing 75% of global production pursuit to get the bonus of 10,000 RS and 10 gold. Last episode we did 50% with our Dodge Challenger RT, which we're going to be using today. The first race is going to be a cup at Hockenheimring with 2 laps, so it's probably going to have 16 or more cars in this race. And I think it will be 22 cars for this race, no problem. However, because we have the second fastest car in this series, and also we're fully upgraded and serviced. Look at that, guys. I think we are going to have 22 car grid, and also I think this is the Formula 1 version of the track, the longer version. Now we're going to start the German Grand Prix, and there are some BMW Z4M coupes, which is the fastest car in this series. But this car, the Dodge Challenger, it has similar PR to the BMW, so we're probably still going to win the race. Through the middle for the first corner, already up into 13th place, in 12th, now 11th place. We have gone through half of the entire grid immediately on the first corner through the inside, but we did hit the back of that black Dodge Challenger RT, but hopefully we didn't lose too much speed. Now we're up into 9th place already. We're chasing this white Nissan Skyline. Because we're in a Dodge Challenger, it obviously has good acceleration and top speed, even though it's absolute brick. But now we're going to go through the inside for this very tight corner right here. And now we're up to 7. Let's try to go catch up to 6th place. Okay, now we're right behind the 6th place cars. Hopefully with our acceleration we can get up to 6th. There we go. We're now up to 6th place. Now going to go up into 5th, maybe into 4th place already. That super slow Skyline. And now we're already up into 4th place. Let's try to go to the inside for 3rd place. Yes, there we go. We are now into the podium positions of the German Grand Prix within the first lap. And I think this is the the Formula 1 version of the German Grand Prix. And now going to go up into 2nd place in the race immediately. And the first place car is another BMW Z4M Coupe. Let's try to. Oh wait, that's not this BMW. It's a Nissan Skyline. We're definitely going to win this race. These are some of the slowest cars in the entire game, the Nissan Skyline. But if we did go just a little bit faster, we could have taken the lead within the first lap. But I think it has to wait for the second lap, or maybe not. To the outside. Oh no, it just blocked us. We aren't going to get the lead on the first lap of the race, but we are right behind the first place Skyline GTR through the inside. Now we're going to get into the lead of the German Grand Prix on the final lap of the race, the second lap of the race on the first corner. Look at how much it's already disappearing into the rear view mirror. This car is definitely a lot faster. I think this car has almost double the PR of the Nissan Skyline GTR. This car I think has 24 or 23 PR, while the Skyline only has around 15. But now we're going to start pulling away. Look at that, it's super small in the rear view mirror. This car has definitely has good acceleration and top speed. Here we're going to go into the tight corner once again. If we get a good exit here, we're going to get a huge boost of speed, because there's quite a long straight where you need as much of a good exit to accelerate as quickly as possible. Look at that, it's just disappearing into the mirror once again. I can almost not even see it now in the rear view mirror of my car. So now we're going to go and think this round, this second sector of the track. We did go sliding there. We were able to keep it within the white lines. However, now we're going into the straight corner here. Now I think we're in the final corner, final sector of the track. And now, oh my goodness, I cannot even see the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 in the rearview mirror. Let's go into third person. I think this is called third person mode. Okay, now we're sliding a little bit. However, I do not know if meters are bigger than yards, because I did switch from kilometers to miles, from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, and it changed the yards to meters. I'm not too sure which one is a bigger unit, but that doesn't matter right now, because we exit the final corner. There is the finish line, and there we go. We have now won the first race of the episode, the German Grand Prix, to 3 minutes 40 seconds. Now we'll be moving on to the next race. Okay guys, the next race is going to be the showcase for the Dodge Challenger RT. It is a head-to-head at Silverstone with 2 laps. Now I did skip a couple of races because I only show one race in each tier. But because this is the showcase for the Dodge Challenger RT, after the showcase, we'll be moving on to the next car, which is the fastest car in the series, the BMW Z4M Coupe. So it is also the Bridge Grand Prix circuit, the 2009 one. So it's a super long version of the track. It's also quite rare. I think I've only had this type of the track in like 5 races this whole series in all of amateur. But now we're going to start the race, and because we're fully upgraded, we're going to get this overtake really easy through the inside of the first corner. Now we have taken the lead of the British Grand Prix just about in the first corner. Oh my goodness, 200 kilometers per hour already. Oh my goodness, it's almost disappearing straight into the rearview mirror. I can almost not see it anymore. This car is a lot more powerful than the second place, which is also a Dodge Challenger RT. But look at that, we're going in first person mode, and I don't think I can even see the Dodge Challenger RT in the rearview mirror now, because that's how fast we're going right now, 240 kilometers per hour. Can you imagine going 240 miles per hour in this Dodge Challenger? That's probably gonna be one of the fastest cars in the whole world. That's probably over 300 kilometers per hour. Now going into the chicane right here, and usually this would be the final corner of the regular Formula 1 version of the British Grand Prix. Here in the stadium right there is the normal finish line for the F1 version of the track. But look at that, it actually continues a lot more. I think it's over 2 minutes for one single lap. And keep it within the lines, but we just go off the track right there. And I actually I did not memorize all of the corners yet, because this version of the track is super rare. And actually there's another track which you probably haven't even seen me do yet in my whole time of racing, of Real Racing 3, is Lime Rock Park Racetrack. It is probably the rarest version of any track at all in all of Real Racing 3. I don't think I've ever even seen a Lime Rock Park race in amateur yet, but I think it only happens in time trial events or multiplayer events. But now we're going to start the second lap of the race, 1 minute 52 for a single lap. And now we're sliding a little bit, just able to keep it within the lines, just on the curb. But look at that, 200 kilometers per hour. This car definitely has good acceleration and top speed. And we're super far away from the second place Dodge Challenger. It's completely gone. It's over 600 meters behind us. I think this is one of the few races I could ever actually wait for 30 seconds maybe, or never mind, 20 seconds and still win the race, because this track is super long. I think the highest I've ever done is a wait for 15 seconds and all the way up to 25. Now over 770 meters between us and second place. Now we're going into the chicane, which is the final corner of the Formula 1 version of this track. Now we're exiting it, and we need to get good exits. Those are also a pretty good exits, and also you need to avoid braking in that small curve right there, because then you lose a lot of time. On most cars you're able to do it without braking, and just keep it within the lines. Yes, we're able to keep it within the lines, just barely staying off the track. Dirt is flying over the track. And now we're going to go under this small tunnel over there, and now we're actually getting quite close to the to the finish line of the track right here. Just about on the other side of this row of the track right here is the finish line. I think just about this corner is the final corner of the track to win the British Grand Prix. Oh wow, we're sliding quite a lot through that final corner, but now we're exiting it. Now we're accelerating 200 kilometers per hour now. And that's the finish line on the minimap, and there we go. We have now won the British Grand Prix, and we have now completed racing with the Dodge Challenger RT, which has actually been in our garage since the very first series of road car collection, which is Pure Stock Challenge. Anyways, we'll be moving on to the next race. Okay guys, the next race is going to be an endurance at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and because the showcase for the Dodge Challenger RT has been completed, we'll be going to the next car, which is the BMW Z4M Coupe, which means we are now in the fastest car in this entire series, fully upgraded and serviced. So 10.8 kilometers is the first place in the series, in the race. So I think it's just about 7 or 8 miles. Okay, now we're going to start the American Grand Prix. and it is the racetrack version, not the oval version. So I think we'll be able to see all parts of the car, because there is the banked section where it tests acceleration and top speed, and then right after the first corner it tests your handling and braking. We just got clipped by that blue Chevrolet Cobalt right there, but we didn't lose too much speed, as we're going to get lots of overtakes immediately on the first lap, because we have the fastest car in the entire series, fully upgraded and fully serviced against some super slow Chevrolet Cobalts. We're now over 1 kilometer already. There's gonna be quite a long race, and now we're going to go up into this 1.5 kilometers. Around the outside, we're getting lots of overtakes on these Chevrolet Cobalts. We need to maximize on how many overtakes we get on the very first few laps, because that's where most slower cars are available. Now we're up into the second kilometer. Maybe it's actually going to be a little bit slower. The first position car is right there, the 7th place, 3.2 kilometers. If you're not able to make it into 7th place on the endurance, you're super slow. Okay, so right after this corner here, sliding a little bit as we overtake another Chevrolet Cobalt, we're going to go into the banked section of the track as we start the 3rd kilometer, and there's 7th place in 3.2 kilometers. Now we're going to see how fast the BMW Z4M Coupe really is. We just completely flew past by that red Nissan Skyline GTR right there. We're like a Red Bull Formula 1 car with how fast we're going right now. There is 6th place, 5.0 kilometers, and also we start the second lap of the race as there's another Nissan Skyline into the first corner. And also I think that means we're now completed the first car, which is the Chevrolet Cobalt SS, and we're moving on to the next car, which in terms of PR is faster than the Chevrolet Cobalt, as we get down to 6th place. And now we're going to start now we're completely in the middle of the position standings. We need to get 2 more 5 kilometers to get 10 kilometers to win the American Grand Prix. Here is another white Nissan Skyline GTR. If we get a good exit here, that was a pretty good exit. There's 5th place, 6.8 kilometers as we get to 6 kilometers right now. As soon as we start the 7th kilometer, we're going to go into 5th place. And look at that, we're starting to go into the banked section once again, and it is still Nissan Skyline GTR. So I think after each lap it's going to be the next car, because right as we started the banked corner, I remember seeing that there was a Chevrolet Cobalt and then a Nissan Skyline. So right after here we should start seeing the Dodge Challenger RT. As we go up into 5th place now, 7 kilometers. We're super close. I think on the next lap we'll get into 1st place. There is a BMW Z4M Coupe straight skipping the Dodge Challenger RT right now on the endurance race. As we start the third lap, we get another overtake, and there's 4th place, 8.6 kilometers. And now we're up into 4th place. There's only 2 kilometers left for us to win the American Grand Prix. We're just skipping the Dodge Challenger RT. Maybe we're just going so fast that the game cannot even handle it, and I need to immediately go to the next car. We need to skip the first car and then go to the next one immediately, because we're going so fast. There was 10.4 kilometers, and now we're going to go around the outside for another overtake on a BMW Z4M Coupe, and there are still some Nissan Skyline GTRs in the grid. But there's 3rd place, 10.4 kilometers. We're right on the home stretch now as we start the 10th kilometer. Let's try to win this race right now. Okay, now we're going to go into the 3rd place position, and there we go, we're up into the podium places. There's 2nd place, 10.8 kilometers. I think we can just stop the car right now, and I think we'll already win the race with with the time we have left. There is 1st place. There we go, guys. We have now won the American Grand Prix, 10.8 kilometers. I'll just wait here because I don't want to waste too much condition on this car, because it's already used a lot of condition on this very long endurance race. So I'll meet you when we only have 5 seconds left. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. We have now won the American Grand Prix, the endurance race, 10.9 kilometers. We will be now moving on to the next race. Okay, guys, the next race is going to be a cup at head-to-head at Mount Panorama with only 1 lap, because we have the fastest car in this series, fully upgraded. We're definitely gonna win this race. I think it's gonna be a Dodge Challenger RT against us for this head-to-head, and oh no, it's gonna be a super slow Skyline. We're definitely gonna win this race. I'm not even gonna wait for it. I'm just gonna go. And now we've already taken the lead of the Australian Grand Prix before even the first corner. I think before we even got 60 kilometers per hour. As we exit the first corner, now we're going to immediately start pulling away from the Nissan Skyline behind us. Our top speed is a lot, and our acceleration is a lot more powerful than the Nissan Skyline. We probably have more than double of the PR of the Audi Skyline, because on fully upgraded, this Nissan Skyline has almost half of the BMW Z4M Coupe's PR. But now we're going to go into the uphill section where it's gonna go really slow, but as soon as we start going downhill, it's gonna go really fast. You almost have to always be on the brakes when you're going in the downhill section. But now we're going to go it's gonna start flattening out, and we're gonna go downhill pretty soon. And here is just about the flats area now. So right after these few corners, we're gonna go down into the downhill section. After this corner right here, that's the banner right there. And now we're going to start going downhill on the Australian GP. Now we're going downhill straight into the brakes, because even with our brakes all the way down, we're still going down the hill very quickly. I think the mountain or the place in Australia where this track is called Bathurst, and that's how it got its name, Bathurst 1000, which where you do 1000 kilometers around this track. That's probably gonna take super long. I think there's like endurance races, or in the category called supercars, even though they're just modified sports cars, like Mustangs. But now we're going to go into the chicane right here. I think this is called the chicane. And then we're gonna go right into the final corner of the race. There's only one lap, so it's gonna be very quick right now. And now we exit the chicane right here. There's the finish line right there and under the bridge. And there's the final corner now, into the braking zone. Now we exit the final corner. There is the finish line. There we go, guys. We have now won the Australian Grand Prix, and we'll be moving on to the next race. Okay, guys, we're now at the final race of the episode. We have gotten 73% out of 75. The last race of the episode is going to be elimination at Melbourne. So this is the final race, because we only have 2% left to complete the goal of this episode, which is 75%. And because it's elimination, it's only going to be 8 cars. And also, I think if you win the elimination, it's only 3 minutes for each elimination. And there's still a bunch of Nissan Skyline GTRs and Chevrolet Cobalt SSs, but there are still some fast cars like the BMW Z4M Coupe and the Dodge Challenger RT. Let's go through the middle for the first few overtakes up to 5th place, up to 4th place already, around the outside for the first corner, but we're not able to make it. Let's go through the inside for this part of the track right here. We're up into 2nd place in the race within the first 3 corners already. We're now starting to chase the BMW Z4M Coupe in 1st place. And look at that, we're right behind it, but as we hit the wall, we're unable to chase it. But let's try to come back at it in this corner right here. I gain a lot of time on this corner. Yes, we're right behind it right now through the inside of this corner right here. We have now taken the lead of the Australian Grand Prix within the first lap of the race. Only in the second sector. I think that's only the second sector. But now we're going to go into the chicane right here. Use as much of the curb as possible. But as soon as you hit one of the walls, like right here, you lose lots and lots of speed because you go sliding a lot. And now we're going to exit the final corner of the first lap as we start the second lap of the Australian Grand Prix. Now we're going to start the second lap of the race, and we're sliding. Oh my goodness, that's crazy right there. As we start the second lap of the race and we go into the first corner, and now we're going to start pulling away from the second place BMW Z4M Coupe. Here you can get lots of time, but if you just go over the limit, you lose so much time by hitting a single one of those walls. And if you hit the middle wall, you almost guaranteed to hit the next wall. So you just need to be quite careful around that corner. But now you're going to start pulling away even more from the second place BMW Z4M Coupe. Richie Rich was eliminated. These usernames are crazy. I just put my real name, Yvain, for my username. As we're going to start as we're getting close to the third lap of the race, I think we're going to finish it right here. And now we're going to go through this chicane. The Raven has been eliminated. And now we're going to start into the third lap of the race as we start the final corners. And now we're exiting the final corner of the second lap. We're going to start the third lap of the race now. We have made it 3 laps already. We've done, I think that means we've done all of these laps less than 1 minute. But as Eraser is eliminated, we win the Australian Grand Prix. A huge drift at the end of the first corner right there. We will now get our rewards for completing 75% of Global Production Pursuit. Okay guys, we have now completed 75 of Global Production Pursuit. In the next episode, we'll get 100%. So that is it for this episode guys. So like, subscribe, and bye guys.